In this video, I want to go over the best funnel to sell high-ticket offers in 2026 and beyond. And this funnel that I'm going to be sharing in this video is one that in my previous business single-handedly generated close to $36 million in sales. So you can see there was about 27 million that came from YouTube, Google ads, and then there was about another 9 million that came from Meta ads. And this funnel is my personal favorite. It is the low ticket funnel. This is basically a funnel where you are selling something for between $10 and $100. And I'll go over in this video the best price points that I'm currently seeing across a variety of industries. You're essentially selling something for $10 to $100 to then get them on a sales call, a demo, or just eventually sell some sort of high ticket offer, which is usually going to be $3,000 to $10,000 plus. And in this video, I'll go over the mechanics of how this actually works, how you can potentially use this inside of your own business. Above all else, why do I believe that this is the best funnel beyond the results that it's generated for me? You've probably heard by now, a lot of people are saying that we are in a trust recession. If you haven't heard it before, you're probably seeing it. You've probably seen, if you've been in business for a few years now, the past 12 to 18 months, show rates are lower than they've ever been. People are very hesitant. People are very skeptical. They're more nervous than ever to make significant amounts of investments. If you are selling something for $3,000 to $10,000, obviously there are things you can do to counteract this. Like if you have a big personal brand, if you have a big YouTube channel or Instagram following, those things do help, but I myself have never had any of those. This YouTube channel has less than 100 subscribers, I think. My Instagram account has like 4,000, 3,000 followers, like nothing substantial at all. So I have always needed to think about marketing my business and getting new clients, getting new leads from the lens of what is going to be profitable for me to advertise, because I have to pay Facebook, Google, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. I have to pay them to put my business in front of customers. And that is one of the biggest reasons I love the low ticket funnel is, first off, what marketing gurus like to call liquidation, which is basically just a fancy way of saying get your money back faster. Where in a typical high ticket sales funnel, the most common is you just send people to a VSL, a webinar, or anything like that. And then at the end of it, you tell them to book a call for your high ticket offering. If you were to spend any amount of money advertising that funnel, whether it's 10,000, 100,000 or more, you are solely reliant on those sales calls closing for you to make your money back. Whether that's you doing the sales calls yourself or if you have a sales team, no matter what, you are in the red until some of those appointments start turning into high ticket clients, which can work very, very well. However, if you've ever run that model, you know that performance can sometimes be a roller coaster, that you will sometimes go 2, 3, 5 days in a row without a high ticket sale. And that means, unless you have unlimited money, that you are slowly going into the negative when it comes to your advertising spend. So the benefit of selling something small on the front end before offering someone the opportunity to buy something like your higher ticket offering is that you can make some of your money back immediately. And what we actually shoot for, what we tell all of our clients to shoot for, is generally between a 0.3 to 0.5 liquidation rate or return on advertising spend. Meaning if I spend $10,000 on ads, I would generally like to see that I'm making $3,000 to $5,000 of that back. And you might ask, well, why wouldn't I try and make all of my money back? If I spend $10,000 in ads, why wouldn't I try and make $10,000 or maybe even $15,000 solely on the low ticket purchase? And absolutely, if you are able to do that consistently, that is the dream scenario. That is absolutely incredible. I will tell you 100% honestly, from having done this myself, spent millions of dollars on my own advertising and now helping clients do this, that is something I've personally never seen, at least not at scale. Like, yeah, maybe like if you spend $200, maybe you make $200 back. But if we're talking about spending $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, very rarely are you going to get a good quality of lead, a good quality of buyer trying to make all of your money back just on a low ticket purchase. And that is the most important thing above all else, because the goal is not just to sell a bunch of like $10 or $100 things. The goal is that we're getting the right people in the door. We're getting people who are going to be great candidates for our $3,000 to $10,000 product. So I would much rather only make 30 to 50% of my money back if we're hitting a 0.3 or 0.5, and have maybe like 10%, 20% of those people end up purchasing my high ticket offering, versus maybe breaking even with my advertising spend, but then it's just filling up our calendars with junk, with broke people, with people that ask for refunds and expect the world on a silver platter for spending $20. That does happen. So what I usually see as a happy medium is somewhere in the 0.3 to 0.5 liquidation rate. Again, that would mean you spend $10,000, you make $3,000 to $5,000 back. That is key number one. And this is especially important as you start spending more and more money. Like we were at our peak spending upwards of $30,000 to $40,000 a day. Just from a cash flow perspective in the business, if we go 2 days, if we were running just a VSL book a call funnel and we went like 2 or 3 days without a close, that's like $100,000 that we're just floating and expecting and hoping that we're going to eventually get back, which is not, a smart business strategy. A smart business strategy is you want to de-risk yourself and make sure that you're keeping as much of the money inside of your business as possible, that you're getting the money back that you're outlaying into marketing and advertising. So that is point number one. This is nice to have, but honestly, above all else, and it feeds into what I was mentioning before about kind of like this trust recession that you've maybe heard about or you've seen in some of your business metrics. Above all else, the number one reason why the low ticket funnel has made me more money than any other funnel, why I personally advise pretty much every single one of my clients to use it, is simply because of the intent and what I would call the consumption rate. So what people have called a trust recession, you could also rephrase and just say it's a consumption recession, where if you created like a 3-hour-long webinar maybe 10 years ago, and it was the world's most amazing webinar, it had all the things your clients need to have like a breakthrough transformation, and it primes you and your background perfectly to sell whatever it is that you're selling at the end, you would have a pretty decent retention rate. That if you had like 1,000 people sign up for that webinar, maybe like 600 to 800 of the people would actually attend the webinar. Probably like at least like 60%, 70% would actually stick through and watch the whole thing. It was much easier to get people to sit down and actually consume what you are putting in front of them. Now, it is a lot harder. I do not advise any of my clients to do a 3-hour-long webinar, because even if you poured your heart, your soul, even if you literally had a QR code that someone could scan to get $1 million deposited into their bank account at the end, very few people would actually make it to that point to actually scan that QR code, which is obviously one of the most frustrating things. If you're a marketer, if you're a business owner, if you're a coach, what is the point of making really incredible marketing material, really incredible products, if no one's ever going to see them? So yes, people are skeptical. Their distrust is at all-time highs, but people are also more distracted than ever. Forbes had a statistic that says people on average see 10,000 advertisements every single day. The rise of TikTok has meant that every single social media platform now has a short form video feed where literally every 5 seconds they can be getting a new dopamine hit of some new video of a cat or someone getting robbed at a grocery store or some business guru giving you advice. Like, it is literally an overwhelm of information. And there are studies, there are statistics where you can see in general, people across the whole population, their attention span is going down. And not only that, the competition as a whole has gotten much, much harder. That if you are someone that teaches people how to invest, if you teach people how to lose weight, if you teach people how to start or grow a business, there are probably at least 10 or 20 or 50 other people that your potential clients have seen on Instagram, on YouTube, on social media, who are all kind of saying a similar thing to you. You obviously know how different you are than your competitors because you're the expert, but your clients, your potential clients, don't know that. So they're being inundated, they're being bombarded with so much information that they're just getting overwhelmed. They hear the same things over and over. They start to pay attention less. So that is the biggest problem nowadays. It's not that, if anything, people business owners and marketers have gotten better. However, because competition has increased, you have to be doing much more to stand out. So we have run this test actually a few times where we had the exact same VSL or webinar, you could call it. Basically a 20 to 30 minute video that is designed to persuade someone to book a call for one of our services. We have run this test multiple times, and every single time the outcome is the same. We have tested where someone can just watch the VSL or the webinar for free. Maybe they have to opt in and give us their name, their email, their phone number. And then we have also made it paid behind a low ticket paywall, which, like I said before, is usually between like $20 to $100. We're not talking about thousands of dollars. Every single time, the VSL and the webinar is the exact same. However, if we send 1,000 clicks to both of these funnels, so we send 1,000 people to each one of these, every single time, the paid funnel will yield more qualified leads for our sales team, more actual live calls, people showing up to the calls, and as a result, more actual high-ticket paying clients. Exact same marketing. Pretty much the only thing that is changing is we're charging people money for the marketing material that we're putting in front of them. Because that's what a webinar is. Like, yes, you could say like, oh, a free webinar is like educational. We're providing so much value. The goal is that you're selling someone. The goal is that you're shifting their beliefs. You're persuading them. They're motivating them to move closer to working with you at a higher level. 100% of the time that we have tested this, just simply putting a paywall in front of an otherwise great piece of marketing material will just boost the results of it. And it's because, like I was saying before, not only has competition increased, but people's attention spans have gone down. What is the easiest way to essentially force someone to pay attention to you, to take you seriously over anyone else? It's to get a small commitment from them. And in this case, easy commitment that someone can make from their phone is literally just spending $20, $50, $100. Someone is infinitely more likely to watch a video that they paid $20 for than they are to watch a free YouTube video like this one. Every single time we've run this test, we've seen the exact same thing. And yes, if I publish a free video like this on YouTube, maybe I'll get more exposure, maybe I'll get more views. However, like I was saying before, my main focus is what is going to bring me more high-ticket clients. What is going to get me people who actually take me seriously, who have a problem, they need a real solution, and I can be the one that provide that solution. 100% of the time, if your goal is to make money, you don't just want impressions, you don't just want views or likes, then getting people to pay is going to increase that likelihood. As the saying goes, people who pay attention. This is not to say this is the only way of doing it. In fact, another really amazing funnel that I personally haven't experimented with, but I know has been doing very, very well for the past few years, is crushing it, is in-person events. Because it's another form of a commitment. If someone is taking time out of their day, even if they live locally to the event, they have to drive, they have to show up to the seminar or the event or whatever. If they have to fly in, if they have to get a hotel room, that's an even higher level of investment, of commitment that they are making. I could be giving the world's worst presentation, but the odds are very high. Most people are not just going to walk out of the seminar because they're like, well, I'm already here. I'm at least going to sit through and, see what this ends up happening. I actually had a friend tell me who does like these in-person events, the conversion rate, the amount of people who end up becoming clients of their higher level program is almost double when the people are flying into the event and they're having to stay at a hotel. They're having to, obviously take more time. It's a bigger commitment than people who live locally, which kind of makes sense. Like I just said, if someone has to get on a plane, get a hotel, even if it's not an expensive event, let's say the event's like $500, that person is going to take that event a lot more seriously. They're a lot more committed than the person who's like, oh, I live 10 minutes down the street. I'm just going to show up and see how this thing is. And that is how most people evaluate any piece of information, any piece of content nowadays. It's always just, oh, I'll check this out. Why not? Like, I guarantee there's people watching this video who are never going to be able to work with me. They're just not business owners. Maybe they're just like, oh, I wonder what this guy on YouTube is talking about. But if I actually genuinely care about who are going to be the highest quality, most committed, most premium clientele, then the intent of those people, the investment of those people, and the amount of material that they will actually consume is going to be the biggest deciding factor. So That is quite literally just what a low ticket funnel is. You are getting someone to pay you to watch a piece of material. And anytime someone pays you for anything, if I pay to go watch a movie, I'm probably going to watch more of the movie. I'll probably watch the whole movie than if I was just clicking around on Netflix and watching something that was included for free with my subscription. So that is the second reason I think the low ticket funnel does very, very well. The other thing is it's just new. It's starting to catch on more. Like when I first started doing this, 2023, there was really not that many people in my industry that were doing it. Now there's slightly more, but definitely it is not as common as just VSLs, webinars, lead magnets. You always want to zig when others zag, as they say. This is by far the number one reason to pick any funnel is it new? Is it different? Is it something that your audience, your potential clients have not seen before? Because that is going to be another huge reason why people are actually going to have a higher level of intent and people are actually going to consume more of it. So those are the three reasons why I think they're so amazing. How does the funnel actually work? What does it actually look like? And how do you put it together? Well, like many funnels, we start with an ad on social media. These are usually video ads. I just actually recorded a video where I go over how I think about making really great video ads. I'll link that in the description. What we then do is we bring them to a landing page. And this is the world's simplest landing page. I see people who run this funnel who design like the craziest pages, like they're like literally like 30 pages long, like you have to scroll for a year to get through all of it. It looks like the Amazon product page where there's all these different sections. My low ticket sales pages are the simplest pages in the world. There's a headline at the top of the page, which is usually like 5 or 10 words long. We then have a VSL right here. And I just put together another video here on YouTube that goes over how I think about writing VSLs, which is the exact same framework you can use for low ticket VSLs, for webinars, for pretty much anything. And then we have a timer. This is a timer. This is just an example. This says 20 minutes. We don't actually set a 20-minute timer. For most VSLs, we will set somewhere between like a 3 to 10-minute timer. And the goal is that this timer, like I was talking about before, it forces consumption. If someone has clicked on the ad and they arrive at this page, there is nothing else for them to do other than to watch the VSL. And that's because I know VSLs have the highest potential conversion rate out of anything else, at least for my industry. And that's usually true if you're in a competitive industry. If you're in health, relationships, personal development, investing, starting a business, growing a business, generally speaking, video will outperform text, and usually long-form video will outperform short-form video. So there is nothing else that is going to have a higher likelihood of converting them to a buyer than this VSL. So the timer is designed to make watching the VSL the only thing that they can do. After the timer hits 0, we will sometimes have like a sales page, like where there's like different sections, like an FAQ, and there's a little cart. Most of the time when we launch a new offer, it's literally just one button. It's a buy button. When they click the button, a pop-up appears, which is very easy to do in most funnel builders like ClickFunnels and Go High Level. And in the pop-up is the checkout, where they enter their information, they enter their payment details, and they finish purchasing. The whole point of this is, again, to increase the consumption and the likelihood that they are going to purchase our high-ticket product. So this VSL, while it is important, it's just designed to sell the thing for $20 to $100. And generally speaking, all things being considered, 2 best price points that you can choose, $27, $97. Things that end with a 7 or a 9 usually convert better. We are generally seeing in more competitive markets, $27 is a little better because it's very cheap. It's almost like an impulse purchase. Doesn't need to be something that you really seriously have to think about. If you are in an uncompetitive market, meaning if there's not a ton of marketers that are pushing tens of thousands of dollars in advertising costs, you can usually charge a little more. And this will help you liquidate and get back some more of your advertising costs. Usually as well, I'm not going to go over this super in depth. Usually we will have 1 or 2 bumps, order bumps. Order bumps are when you're purchasing something, there's a little checkbox right before you hit complete purchase that you can add this little additional thing to your purchase. Like if I was selling dog food, then it would make sense in the checkout process of the dog food, there'd be an order bump. Order bump number one would maybe be a dog toy for like $10. And then maybe number two would be like a dog leash for $40. Because if I'm selling something to dog owners who are buying dog food, then obviously this is a likely place that they're going to want to get other things for their dog. Usually we will have two order bumps that are either $37. I'm going to erase that. Two order bumps where one is $37 and then the other is $97. The goal is that we will get maybe like 15 to 25% of people picking one or both of these things. And this will help us liquidate or get more of our money back from all of the money that we're spending on advertising. What you include in these bumps will obviously depend on what the actual offer in the low ticket purchase is. But these could be things like different assets, different deliverables like PDFs and worksheets that you maybe provide people in a higher level program. It could be a community. It could be like a mini mastermind. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. I would encourage you not to overthink it. And if anything, it's a thing worth testing. It's much better than to test like 5 different ideas than to put like 2 weeks of effort into building in the perfect order bump that maybe people don't even like. So I would recommend just experimenting with this and seeing what works. A lot of people as well, if you've ever heard about this idea, there used to be this notion of sending people then to an upsell page, where this is a page where it's like, your order's not completed. Do you want to add this other thing for $100? I used to do that. It used to work well. But now, number one, as we've already gone over, people have short attention spans. People are skeptical. And the goal, as I mentioned previously, is not to liquidate every single dollar of our advertising. While it would be nice, number one goal is get people to the high ticket purchase. So now what we do is we have the main product, either $27 or $97. We have 2 of the order bumps that they can check and add to their order if they so desire. Whether they take them or not, as soon as they finish their purchase, they are immediately redirected to a page that has a calendar. This is a calendar. This is for scheduling a sales call with you, if you take your sales calls, with your sales team, a closer, or an appointment setter. We have historically always sent these sales calls straight to a closer. And I'll be the first to admit, I've never had the world's most amazing appointment setting team. I'm sure there are business owners out there who have amazing, some people call them appointment setters, some people call them triagers. They do like a 15-minute call before the closer. Pretty much every dollar that I showed you before, straight to a closer, like literally no warm-up. And some people get confused because they're like, well, how is the closer going to sell them something if they just bought something? It's very simple, and I could maybe do a video on this if it is helpful on the sales process behind this, but it is literally just a paragraph that you add to the start of the sales script that basically says, hey, first name, congratulations on buying low-ticket product name. You've made an incredible decision. We're super happy to have you on board. It's an amazing program. However, with that being said, it's obviously kind of just like a mini course. It's something for beginners to get started with. And that's why we do these calls, to see if there's anything that maybe you need help with that we could help you with in one of our higher level programs. Does that sound good? Yes? Okay. Then they go into discovery questions. All we are doing is pre-framing, addressing that they bought this thing. The thing is great. However, just like anything that costs $20, it's not going to be the end all be all for someone to solve a massive problem or experience a massive transformation. That's it. We're trying to create a gap and a difference of what your low ticket and your high ticket could ultimately be. So on this page, they can immediately schedule a full sales call. So if your sales calls are 45 minutes, it's the exact same calendar that is here. After they have booked it, we give them a confirmation where we say, congratulations. Go check your email now for your login. And obviously with a low ticket funnel, you could sell books. You could sell like mastermind, coaching, community, whatever. 99% of the time, what we do is we just sell video courses. Because again, the goal of this is that people are paying us to consume some percentage of our marketing material. So when they actually go and log in to the members area, this is the members area where it says, welcome. And then you have your little course navigation, and then you have your course video. That's supposed to be a play button. This whole course is basically the same exact material that someone would be getting in one of our VSLs or webinars. But now it's broken out usually into like 3 to 6 different video trainings, just like how a mini course or an online course would be. And because they've just paid for it, because it's now in this own little members area, we see the consumption rate is much, much higher. But the exact same things in that video that I'll leave in the description about the structure of a VSL, that is the exact same structure that is being presented inside of this low ticket members area. People are paying to get access to essentially what we would give away historically for free in like a 3-hour long webinar, but now we're breaking it up into a mini course. What we will generally see out of all the clients that are going to come from this, maybe like 40 to 50% of them are just going to come straight from booking this call. Like a good percentage of people are people who are like, oh, I saw your ad, I saw your VSL, it sounds like exactly what I'm looking for. And yeah, I understand the $20 thing is not going to solve my problem. Tell me about this $5,000 thing. 40 to 50% of your clients are going to come just from this page. The remaining 50 to 60% will come from people actually going through and consuming the low ticket product, which again is basically just a VSL or a webinar broken out into course videos. So it is important that both of these things are done correctly for you to maximize the percentage of people that are coming through this. And like I mentioned before, obviously the big needle mover, because it is the only thing that someone can really watch, is this VSL. So I would encourage you, if you have not seen it already, go below this video, click the video in the description that I have that goes over how I recommend structuring VSLs. You can obviously use it for low ticket VSLs like this. You can use it for the members area VSL. You can use it truly for anything. So I would recommend checking that out. If there's any questions you have after watching this, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Be happy to answer. Leave a like, subscribe if you find these videos helpful.